now that we have a good understanding of what we need to look for and understand, we're going to take this knowledge and apply it to our websites. So figuring out how to prioritize and what to conquer first when it comes to your website. So the three main areas that we look at are: one, what's going to have the biggest impact on your visibility; two, what is in your control; and then what requires as little resources as possible. So first things first, meta tags. This is often the first thing people will see when they're being introduced to your brand. They are the little blue link and description within those results. These are great opportunities to showcase your unique value proposition and are still considered a pretty strong ranking factor for those pages. And although now with the meta description, it's not as big of a ranking factor, but it's still a great opportunity to showcase who you are and what your brand is about and entice those users to click. A few tips here is that you want to be very mindful of your character limits. If you do something that is too long, you're going to end up losing the tail end of your titles and descriptions. So making sure that your titles are with around 60 characters and your meta descriptions being about 160 characters. This will ensure that you don't lose any pertinent information and have the best opportunity to get your messaging across. It's also important to note that we don't talk about meta keywords here because those are no longer a thing. So if you do ever see them within your CMS system, just ignore it. Google ignores them, and in some cases like Bing, you may be hurting yourself inadvertently. So if you're using WordPress, I highly recommend that you use Yoast as the plugin of choice for your SEO. If you're using Squarespace, you can find it under the SEO title and SEO description, and then Shopify search engine listing preview here. All of this makes it a lot easier for you to manage these pages, and they should be unique for each page. Structuring your content is the other side of things that will help you to have the best opportunity for ranking. As I mentioned before, keywords should be implemented within your headers as well as paragraphs, and using images to help break up your content to make it more scannable. A lot of users, well, for the majority of users on the web now, we don't read entire sections of pages. We scan and scroll. So use headers and bullet points as well as any visual cues to help break that up and try and grab their attention. Because if they don't see what they're looking for in an easy to find way, they're not going to spend the time looking and reading for your information. Be sure to use your keywords as well as the synonyms and related terms within your copy and prioritize that information and put those keywords at the top. I don't know if you've ever been to like baking websites, and they always fill their nonsense with like a story about their brother going surfing in Bali, and then they put the recipe and ingredients at the bottom. Don't do that. Just start with the most information at the top and then work your way down. And always have a clear call to action on every page. Tell the user what you want them to do here. Without that, they're just going to keep acting mindlessly around your website. So don't be afraid to ask for that sale or that action that you want them to take, because it is helpful and will help you to convert those people into sales and leads. Menu navigation links. This is one that is often overlooked because design can play a big factor in this. When we're on a desktop device, we want to make sure that all of the key categories of your website are visible to the user. And having drop-down menus with all their subcategories will make it easier for the user to find what they're looking for more easily. This also works well for search engines too, because they follow those links as well to explore your website. If you're looking at your mobile device, a hamburger menu with the three little bars and collapsible menus are totally okay. It's just for desktop, we want to make sure that the information that they're looking for is easily accessible and direct. When we're looking at your footer menu, it's also an important part to highlight your key products or services at the footer there, because once they reach the bottom of the page, it gives them another incentive or another cue to keep exploring your website. And this last part here, don't try and reinvent the wheel. People have become extremely accustomed to how websites and menus work. And if you try and create a new way of doing that and confuse them and make it difficult for them, they're not going to spend the time learning how to use your website. They're going to go elsewhere. So be mindful of that, be consistent, and be, regular with your menu and items like that, because ultimately we want to make it as easy as possible for people as well as the search engines to find what they're looking for. The other side of linking is using hyperlinks. These are often the little blue links that we find within copy. Google uses these to understand the relationship between pages. So linking from one page to another tells us that those two pages are probably closely related. And the keywords that you use in those blue links also helps to strengthen that relationship. From a user perspective, this gives us an opportunity to guide users further along and to help them explore your website a lot more. A good little tip for this is for understanding this is that the longer people spend on your website, the better opportunity or the more likely they are to convert and be attracted to what it is that you have to offer. And when we're looking at these internal links, text is always the best option, and then buttons, and then images. And again, this goes back to the fact that Google understands that text way more simply than images, and we'll have a better understanding of what those pages are and what those keywords are related to when you use text. All right, wrapping it all up. So first of all, SEO is by no means a one-time shot. It takes a lot of time and perseverance and a lot of iteration. You may find that certain keywords may not yield the best results in terms of converting people, or it might not be the right messaging. So play around with it and test. It takes a while to find the right recipe, but once you do, it will have good impact. As I said, be patient. Little wins will lead to bigger wins, and as you gain that momentum and iterate, you'll start to your snowball will start to grow, and it starts rolling down the mountain, and you'll have a lot more traffic and a lot of great visibility there. Be sure to take advantage of the free tools that are out there. There's no one size fits all tool for everyone, and each one has their own little features that bode well, and can help you find the perfect phrasing or opportunities that you've been looking for. And track your progress. Take advantage of Google's free tools like Google Analytics and Google Search Console, because these will help you to make decisions about what content you should have on your website, what keywords might be working, what keywords aren't working, and seeing how your growth is paying off.